And welcome to another episode. It's been a while of Tom's Take Plus One. I like to interview, as I did a couple years ago. I'm bringing this back. I got some exciting things coming up on the Crawford Podcasting Network via Tom's Take Plus One. One other person on the interview besides me, obviously, the person I'm interviewing. And I like to speak with business leaders, givers to the community, givers to society, givers to goodwill. And I can't think of anybody better to have to kick off this renewing of this series that I'm going to be buzzing through the summer of 2022 and 23 and 24 and beyond, with a lot of fun and exciting things. Xavier DeGroat of the Xavier DeGroat Autism Foundation, a young man, a terrific guy who I met a few years ago. I think it was down, Xavier, at the Fox 47. You went and visited Jack Ebling and I down there on Press Pass. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that was a great time to meet you and what you're all about. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up and explain. We got a great event, by the way, coming up that we're going to talk about down in Ann Arbor. A week from tomorrow night, as in a week from Wednesday, or a week from tomorrow, which is May 18th, down at the Union Building. They're on State Street, my alma mater, University of Michigan. And but Xavier, you have a great story, and I'd like to open this up, if you will, having you explain to our listeners what your mission has been with this great effort that I think you've been doing for several years now. I think it goes all the way back into double-digit years, maybe 2009 or something, that you got involved with Autism Foundation, and you've experienced a lot of challenges that you've overcome. You have steel in the spine, as Jim Harbaugh would say. So, Xavier, why don't you tell a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into what's coming up a week from tomorrow night. So, tell us how it all started.
Back in 2019, I got to meet Jim Hackett. He was CEO of Ford Motor Company then. And I told him all about my ambition for the University of Michigan sports. And I had grown up with the big-time family fanship of the U of M football history. Lloyd Carr, that's my guy, as Xavier, my dad used to say. And Jim Hackett then said, "You should meet Jim Harbaugh. Tell him about what you do. I'll hook you up with someone that will help arrange a meeting for you." And then Coach Jim Harbaugh meets me in May of 2019, telling me how much he wants to help any way he can, support the cause. And Jack Harbaugh, surprisingly, snuck in through that meeting with Jim and told Jim, "You better help Xavier out. Xavier's a great man. He has a great cause." And Coach Harbaugh was like enlightened by that and had literally told me he'll do anything he can to help.
Well, I'll tell you what, and we both know Jack Harbaugh. I mean, he's my favorite Harbaugh. I mean, Jim and John are great, but Jack is a great storyteller, former assistant coach, longtime assistant coach, Bo Schembechler, and then went on and coached Western Michigan, Western Kentucky, and just an all-around good dude, giver to to goodwill, just like you are, Xavier, and so. So take it from there. What did you do with? So you got the kind of the green light. But go from there to what you've been doing the last couple of years, because you had the challenges of COVID. So having kind of any events and things like that, we kind of got sidelined, right? So now we're getting back to normal. We're having events going on. Take us up to what's going to happen a week from tomorrow night, Wednesday night, on May 18th.
We're going to hold a dinner gala inside the Michigan Union at the University of Michigan there, with special guests, Coach Jim Harbaugh speaking. Jim Brandsetter is expected to be our MC, as well as speakers will include Billy Taylor, Tom Darden, Fritz Seyferth, and many more.
Oh yeah, those are all legends of Michigan football. For Seyferth, number 32, he gave the block that sprung Billy Taylor in that 1971. You're way too young to remember that, Xavier, but I am not. I remember I was at that game as a 14-year-old. But so tell me what the objective, the mission of the foundation and tell us some of your experiences in life moving around. You were moved around into different environments, different situations, a victim of bullying and things that you've overcome, which I just am so admire you for. Take us through those experiences and how that's evolved into this foundation.
Because I was facing many suffering of mistreatment and labeling in my early years as a kid from K-12. I faced much stimulation overload that made me motivated and made me very anxious to go out and become a leader like I am. So I founded my own nonprofit called Xavier DeGroat Autism Foundation, and we are dedicated to building sensory rooms. We're dedicated to helping law enforcement, firefighters, and many more on how to help treat people with autism with more sensitivity friendly environments.
Wow, what a great cause. So this is obviously it's always good. It's good to be a revenue generation in this regard, because these monies that that will procure, for example, that will take place. Obviously, this function, the ticket monies and things like that. What does that money apply to, Xavier, specifically?
The building a sensory room at the University of Michigan Health System. We're expected to do that at the Children's Hospital there. And it's in
Wow.
process right now, in the middle of being worked on. It has to get voted through the Board of Regents and many others on the campus. But that is something I am leading towards with my board, and my father, who's a senior advisor of my foundation now, is helping work this through as well.
Wow, that's amazing. So take us through. I mean, it's not just the University of Michigan, and that's not the only reason I'm having you on here, because it's Michigan. Because you've done some other things with Michigan State, some other. To tell us some of the other organizations, maybe some other teams that you've been involved with, and what's been the response from them, Xavier.
Yes, I've worked with Mark Antonio. He's a mentor of mine, and he's been a huge donor and supplier of helping raise my foundation to grow. And I used to go to football field every day for over 5 years with Coach D. And Coach D would then tell everybody on his team, let Xavier be here like a family member, because he is a family member. And somehow that had lifted up me to go Detroit Lions next. Jim Caldwell invited me. And then I had Lomas Brown as a friend, got to know me through Sheldon White at MSU. And then I go to the Philadelphia Eagles and talk to Jeffrey Lurie about sensory rooms. And guess what? He takes me inside of the stadium, and it showed a sensory room inside of there that they have for people with autism. I give that credit to Rodney Peete, because his son has autism and played for Philadelphia Eagles. And Jeffrey Lurie has a brother with autism. So then Coach Doug Peterson comes out and talks to me for a moment, taking me to practice. And that is what lifted me to choose NFL and college sports to become my institution to help work with spreading awareness. And I have never let anything tell me what to do anymore, because I know what I can do and I know what I'm capable of as a person on the spectrum. And my most beloved mentor and someone I have the most warm love for is my mother and father, because they're the ones who gave me this heart and soul to keep with me and stand up for what I believe in.